Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Hello, and welcome to Really
Random Rants, the show where we do
Just That.
I'm Kid Fisto.
I'm Dr. Vickman.
And I'm McFly.
Today we are talking about what her name is based off of.
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. Ready to believe you.
Hashtag who you gonna call? Hashtag Ghostbusters. Alright, so we're
Hashtag
doing
me.
an in-depth trailer analysis of the new trailer that came out. We put it up on our YouTube channel here, and someone requested that we do a trailer analysis of it.
Which is actually interesting because this is like the first time we've ever had someone request us to do an episode, a specific episode. Send us more of those. Comment with more ideas for episodes.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Alright, so without further ado, we'll get on to this, and I'm not sure if
Oh my
we
gosh.
might show you,
We probably won't show you anything. And you probably...
So, here's what you do.
You probably will hear noises.
Pause this video quick.
Okay.
No, I mean them. Our viewers. If you're watching this, pause it right now. Open a link in a new tab of our channel. See where we have the trailer, not the international trailer, the main trailer, and click on that so you can watch it with us.
Link in the description below.
Yeah, and what you can do is change the speed to 0.25. That way we can go.
Actually, why don't you bump that up a little bit? Because we don't want this to be like a 2-hour-long episode.
This might be a longer episode though, so if you're not rushed,
this is for people who are really into getting in depth and in analyzing the trailer like to the max.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you're not into that, you probably shouldn't watch this episode because it's probably going to be really boring to you.
But if you are into that, or if you want to see if we can figure out anything about this movie, feel free to join us.
Now let's go bust some ghosts.
So we now changed it to 0.05.
You probably will hear some things in the background,
But it will be faint for you.
Yeah.
So it's slow but faster than
30 years ago.
I wonder what that means.
This is even
Oh,
slower
wait.
than how slow it is already.
I know.
In the trailer, it's slow.
For scientists save New York.
Foresight.
I wonder what that means. Let's look and pause that. No, I'm just kidding. It's pretty obvious. It's self-explanatory.
It means
oh, there's the
foresight.
firehouse. The firehouse. So let's pause it quick. We paused it on this summer, but we're talking about
This
the fire.
summer.
The firehouse, something I noticed about that is the fact that it means that they're going to keep the firehouse and they're not going to be moving into more high-tech lab and things like that. It's going to keep with the old things.
Which is very good.
It also means that this is set in the same universe, even by looking at. So yeah, if we can analyze the things earlier about 30 years ago. That means that it's set in the same universe. So even if this is sort of a reboot, it's not taking away all of that.
It's still in the same world.
It's
It's
just
like
saying-
Jurassic World's reboot of.
They don't really mention very much about the old one, but they don't really say that it's not in it.
Right, it definitely happened because there's things they say.
But there are references.
Yeah, exactly. So it is in the same world, and there are cameos by the actors. I'm not.
Oh, there are?
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're playing their characters though, or just.
That would be awesome if they were playing the characters.
So anyway,
It's just like, you girls need to know some things about this.
so shall we?
This summer.
This summer.
This month.
All right, so we're in a Seward. What? It says Seward. I don't think that's. I don't think they said that wrong. I think it's.
We'll answer the call.
Who are you gonna call?
Or We're pausing it right here.
Okay, so
Ghostbusters.
at this picture, you can notice the fact that you have
Well, if they have it open like we suggested.
you have the replacement of Ray in the middle.
This is what we're assuming.
These are the characters that from what we've seen so far, they are portraying.
And the
they're-
blonde is most likely the replacement for Egon.
But something I noticed is that she's less of a serious stone-faced character and more of a quirky character.
Another thing, we say replace, but we don't really mean replace. We just mean that that's their version of it, them portraying it. Because replace, no one can replace the originals.
Well,
it's the
yeah.
originals. You can't replace
And again, this isn't
originals.
replacing.
Well,
Like we said, those people existed. These people just happen to be very similar, and they happen to take on the exact same job.
Whoa, that's amazing! What a coincidence! They weren't
See, that's
trying
why
that
they
at
can't
all.
That's why it's good that
They're
Egon's replacement is a little more quirky because
and less of
because
a
that's not like, oh, this is the exact same team just with females. No, they all have their own personalities. Sure, they're like very similar to the others' personalities, but they do it in a different way.
Think of it like this. Think of it as in a sense of a reboot
And
again.
I just realized I'm actually getting to talk on this episode.
Yeah.
If we look at it like, let's say a superhero movie, a character, whenever they do a reboot of it, an actor is portraying a character, but it's their take on the character. So this is basically their takes on the characters, except these are different characters, so it's not like this person's name is Egon, they just happen to be a girl. No.
So, who names their child Egon?
I don't know.
Someone who doesn't give them choice.
I'm going to name my
we should
child
probably
Egon
move on.
now.
Actually, also something that I want to mention is the fact that
She's eating Pringles?
the middle one is more klutzy than
Yeah.
than Ray was, and less enthusiastic.
Alright, here we have
Here is the
ghost.
most obvious reference in the entire trailer.
It's like the whole library scene in the first Ghostbusters.
But there's also a not so obvious possible reference in the background. As you can see behind her, if you're paused at the same time we are, which is very unlikely, it's a scene where it's the librarian ghost looking down at them. If you can see that, then you will probably notice that there is something that looks like a picture frame in the background.
We're obviously assuming it's one of those ghosts that comes out of the picture frame.
Which is a very direct reference
To Ghostbusters
2, with Vigo the Carpathian. So,
Carpathian Kid-in-Laws.
So, we think that's a So, get ready for if you're seeing it where we are, you're about to see it go to the skeleton phase.
I don't like this part.
It gets me every time.
It's cool, but
And the slime comes out, which is really interesting
oh,
because
wait,
you
this
don't.
is
Okay.
that one's okay. It's the other one that scares
This
me.
shows
coming up.
several things. One, that Slimer's not the only person who can slime.
Mhm.
And second of all, it shows that just because they look transparent and stuff, that they're not.
And they can go through things still, and they're transparent, but they aren't. They
are
can
physical.
still.
Yeah, they're sort of physical where they have things in
they
them.
themselves are not physical, but they are able to summon physical form.
Yeah,
They
it's.
didn't really. They never really mentioned the fact. Oh wait, go back a bit. Go back. We're back. We're going back to the camera shot.
Oh, you on the camera?
Okay.
Yes.
Well, the
Cute.
idea of the camera was just. I just wanted to mention the fact that it's a reference to a lot of horror movie genres.
Yeah.
Where a lot of it is like a video camera. It's
Filming
like
it, yeah.
Paranormal Activity. Never want to watch that one. That one's
There's 3 of
terrifying.
them.
I know, but still.
And again, if you haven't slowed down like how we do, that's why her voice sounds weird, because it's
From Columbia Pictures.
Okay. Oh wait. Go back.
Oh yeah, you if you go back right after from Columbia Pictures.
Okay.
All right,
So
here
this
is the firehouse.
This is a pic. This shot is taking place in the room with the where the ghost trap was.
The containment.
Right, the
Yeah.
containment unit.
You can even see their version of it right at. It would be the right side if you're looking at
on the opposite side of the
screen.
stairs.
Yes, the
Exactly,
opposite side
yeah.
of the stairs. And
There's doors behind there. I don't. maybe this isn't just the containment unit. Maybe this was the original garage too.
See, that's what I was going to say. Was it the garage area or was
Maybe
it
the containment unit
area?
was in the garage.
No, well, yeah, but no matter what, they went downstairs to get to the containment unit. But the garage was like
But there's
right near all the desks.
But you can obviously see the containment unit off. Well, not obviously, but you can see the containment unit off to the side, and you can see the stairs over to the side.
You can see things have obviously been moved around since 30 years later. Things have
And
been changed,
what's her name? What's the name of the Egon?
I don't remember. And they're playing tapes to hear sounds. Alright, this is a reference to the whole train scene.
When she's standing in the subway station and the ghost coming at her.
It's a reference to the ghost train.
When Winston was standing in Ghostbusters.
There's a bunch of ghosts. One of those typical people running in fear, but
this shows that this movie is far different from the other Ghostbuster movies.
We should play a game. Name that people running in fear shot. What movie it's from?
We will do that sometime.
Random pictures of.
Make a pick again.
Alright. Yeah, so like we said just a moment before we continue, this is long. Even though you're like, 10 minutes, if you don't want to stay for this because it will be lengthy for this one,
you obviously don't care enough about Ghostbusters to, and obviously we're not.
Or you're just busy and you can check it later.
We understand. This is a trailer analysis, so it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
So if it goes
probably
page 23 of a book time.
Okay,
page
23 of a book. We apologize for that episode. That was terrible.
So anyway, okay, so
you were saying it shows difference.
So it shows difference in the fact that in the original movies, the people were like crying out and saying, "Yeah, Ghostbusters," because there was something to cheer for. They knew about them.
They knew they were being saved. Like
At this point, people don't even know that. That's why they're running in fear instead of going, "Whoa, Ghostbusters!"
Yeah, they don't know because plus this is another generation of people because it's 30 years later. So
at this point, grandparents are probably telling them stories about the Ghostbusters, and they're just like.
Ghostbusters is a bedtime story.
I know you're lying.
Yeah.
I know you're lying.
This is just my assuming, but I'm assuming that this generation, the ghosts haven't showed up for a long time, so this is something new for them. It's not like ghosts have been going for a while, but finally another team stands up.
Yes, but I'm assuming that of course people probably had their whole ghost stories. Oh, I heard a noise in the attic type thing.
Yeah.
But so they would obviously know about ghosts and stuff. They aren't stupid.
Yeah.
But
But
the whole ghost attacking the city,
has not happened in
that
years.
big paranormal stuff, that all happening, that hasn't happened for like 30 years since the.
Okay, so this
is the new proton pack.
This is the new proton pack, and also we watched a little video. Link in the description.
Well, that's later. Trailer.
I know, but we watched a video about the proton packs on a website. Link in the description. Right? Yeah. Link in the description. In this shot, it shows us the particle accelerator on the back of the proton packs. Right. It also shows us that they had magical wand things and the counter things on the side. And you guys were guessing what the counter things were. I think I figured it out. I think the little numbers in the bottom are actually just telling them how much energy they have left in the proton pack.
Right, but I think the numbers themselves
are probably the same numbers that they had on the original proton pack.
Or somewhere else, somewhere in some movie. Or
but you should be, again, if you're not seeing us watching it, if you're just seeing our faces, that is because earlier, if you were paying attention, we asked you to, if you want, you can see it yourself with the link in the description. So, if you're not looking at the trailer, some of these things are going to be a little bit harder to
understand.
Yeah. So, we highly recommend, if you're not already looking at the trailer with us, go to that too.
And also go to that speed. What's the speed?
It's at 0.5. So go to that first. Okay. All right.
So this is showing. Okay.
It's okay.
Okay, so that shot was showing that the replacement for Egon,
Or who we're assuming.
Holtzman.
Yeah.
Holtzman.
Holtzman. She is obviously not the cleanest person around. She is very much a slob.
But it's one of those slots.
But it's organized clutter.
Yeah, like she can find anything.
Like me.
But if someone who is organized would go over, they would be like, "Where's this?" Or get the screwdriver. They'd be like, "Where's the screwdriver?" But she would just be 2 seconds, boom, got it.
Wouldn't it be funny if she didn't even have a screwdriver in there? Everything was just so high tech.
Wouldn't it be funny if she's really not that or if she really doesn't know where every single thing is? We're just assuming. Like she's
Okay. That if you're at the thing we are, that's the new trap.
That's what we're assuming is the new version of the trap. You know, the little thing that looks like a mouse droid?
Yeah. I'm assuming that this is them developing it, which means this might not be the final product in the film. So, and I don't mean the creators haven't finished editing it. I mean, in this case, in the movie, the Ghostbusters are still working on developing.
Yeah, and actually they could do it where it's like a rollout thing, and they could do the foot reference thing, but it would probably be still the idea. The whole
Alright, moving on. See, Alright, so here's this quantum physics.
One's Aaron?
Is that
Holtzman?
Oh, that's the replacement for the... That's the replacement for
Venkman.
Okay.
Alright, so if you look at this equation, they made sure that it was mathematically correct.
And everything in the room is actually, every paper in the room is mathematically correct.
And also, that right at the top there, the thing in parentheses, and then you have the comm and the arrow thing, the very top, that is actually sort of a link to another website.
Link in the description.
It's
the same place we saw that video that we were talking about earlier.
It's an Easter egg that somebody was clever enough to find. I'm not sure who it is, but we will give the director
telling them about.
But we will give.
And this shows that this replacement.
Oh, and they have the helmet thing. Shows the old one.
This shows that the replacement for Rey is a klutz and not really knowing what she's doing.
And she's got the helmet thing that they use.
What's that from?
In the first Ghostbusters movie on Tully.
Huh?
Tully Lewis.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
Maybe this could be like the Ghostbusters give them a bunch of stuff. That could be very plausible. I don't think they're going to do that.
Aren't they all going to make cameos? Well,
a lot of them. Or it could even be that a lot of the stuff was left over when they found the place. Like it could have been
probable.
Yeah, my guess is that the Ghostbusters just left it. Yeah.
Or
they abandoned the place.
Either that, or they were like kicked out because of the whole, using nuclear energy to.
Just a subway. We didn't notice anything special about
there's nothing that we noticed special about this, except for the fact that this is the first moment that you really realize the fact that this is the replacement for
Winston. This is hilarious because her uncle is what do you call it when they work at a funeral place?
Winston.
Funeral.
It might be Winston.
It
could very well be.
Is.
She could be a relative of Winston's. I just figured that out.
True, because he probably would want to do stuff like that with.
And he could fix it up and make it look different. I mean, that's his personality.
And it would make sense why he would be working at a funeral home.
Yeah, because of Ghost.
And Undertaker.
Yeah, Undertaker. That's the word you were looking for. So they have this car, and this will be the Ecto one.
Because horses are the ones they use for funerals, where they take
that's why they chose it for Ghostbusters.
Yes, the original vehicle.
So clever.
All of the Ectos have been hearses, I believe. Like, they're all a hearse.
I didn't know that hearses were only used for funeral people.
Well, if you're my cousin, you use them instead of a limo at your wedding.
I would do that.
Go, my cousin. My cousin Curtis. That's how he works.
And the person we think is a replacement for Egon thinks this is hilarious. And I'm not...
Or awesome.
Yeah, like, oh... It's a Cadillac!
Okay, there we got the first shot of the Ecto-1 license plate, which, do not try to get that as a normal license plate. I'm sure that that's wrong due to the fact that it doesn't have enough,
Alright, so it looks like the garage for them, for their Ecto, is actually in the building across the
adjacent
street.
to it. Maybe they didn't get the firehouse and they actually got the restaurant across from it. That would be an interesting twist.
Yeah, because
Like they just have to
they're
be
at the
right
restaurant,
across.
right?
Yeah.
And maybe they go into the firehouse a couple of times.
Well, that would be where they
Like,
found
that's where they get all the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be where they found the containment.
That makes
unit.
sense because it's in the garage of the Chinese.
There's it going around town. Oh my, we're only 1 minute and 27 seconds into this. Sorry for that yelling. Alright, so here's a shot of them.
This is the first shot you get of the entire new Ghostbusters crew in their Ghostbusters uniforms.
Yeah.
Something I noticed is that their uniforms look completely different from the first ones.
Like, they're still jumpers and everything, but now they have orange stripes.
And they don't have the ghosts on them.
Yeah, actually they do.
Where?
On the shoulder.
Okay, this was...
Okay, here is the ghost jumping out. This is like, I'm assuming that looks like a big portal.
And it looks like, yeah.
Where the ghosts are
like
coming from. Just a moment.
But yeah, that's the portal I'm assuming that they're coming from.
Or it is the paranormal paranormal activity amplifier that they were talking about earlier. That there was a machine that was amplifying paranormal activity.
That's what we're talking about, basically, the portal thingy.
Or, seeing as there's a bright light in the middle, it could be a portal, like she said. It looks as though it's in a church, which could be a reference to like Vigo to the Carpathian, because actually not a church.
No, because that was a museum.
It actually does look like a museum.
Oh, and then here's Slimer. He is
Slimer. He's less transparent than he was in the first one.
Yes, the first one he was very transparent.
And that I'm not sure if they just want him to look more like a ghost or if it was just because of the technology
I feel like
back in the time.
The second one, I feel like he was a little bit more.
He was a little bit darker, so my guess.
He was like a puppet thingy in the second one.
My guess is they tried I don't think that they deliberately want to make him look like a ghost in the originals. I think it was just due to the technology. Yeah. So now they have the right technology to make him be
more dark. And actually, if you look at that, it actually looks shiny or more slimy.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so now we have this street view where if you look, there's a whole army of ghosts.
The ghosts are taking over the place left and right, and you have the Ghostbusters walking down the street.
Right. And there's
you
only
have a
4 of them, and like
that is an Easter egg to the original. You have this saying, that's a big, and then it shows a picture of a Twinkie. Which is hilarious if you are a Ghostbusters fan.
Because the Twinkie, they referenced that a bunch of times. They used the Twinkie for an example of like the paranormal activity and stuff, and then they're like, oh, that's one big Twinkie.
Just a moment.
So basically, why are you still watching this if you don't care about Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
How long is this going so far?
22 minutes.
Okay, let's try.
Yeah, could you actually speed up the thing?
No, because then you don't
Freaky Ghost Shot.
Which will probably be in 3D. Then you have...
This looks like it's backstage of a play or something.
Yeah.
Like with the whole lights in the
wind.
Yeah. At first you would think it's a costume shot, but then you're right. If you look at the background,
there are lights. It looks like a dressing room.
We'll find out what it is when we watch it.
And this is another place where it shows that Holtzman is very quirky.
Is it the wig or the hat?
Quirky.
And then you see a giant tall guy. A giant tall guy.
Ghost. Okay, play it.
Going around.
Okay, this shows that it's more of a unfolding technology and less of a
whole one chord thing.
And
this shows the whole fight.
And also, those showed that it was more of they disintegrated the ghosts and less of they caught them.
And then we get our look at Chris Hemsworth, their new secretary.
As
Kevin, yes.
Kevin
is their secretary.
I actually like how they made him not look like Chris Hemsworth. And disgusting moments coming up.
Yeah. So basically,
you got some
the ghost
booger problems.
Yeah, the ghost took over. Whatever, I forget her name, but
replacement.
Yeah,
replacement.
And
hashtag
so now she goes all creepy Barbie style,
grabbing Holtzman,
throwing her out windows. That looks hilarious when it's slowed down. Oh, you can hear the cracking.
Yes.
So she gets the ghost out, and the ghost flies away.
So yeah,
funnier slowed down.
She's got a necklace that says Patty, so we're assuming her name's Patty.
And then you have the Ghostbusters logo showing up.
Logo.
So, alright. Now that's the end of the
in theater
trailer.
July 15, 2016.
That's the end of the trailer analysis. We're going to talk for about 3 more minutes with a few extra Ghostbusters things. Again, only 3 more minutes.
I just want to show. So,
okay. So basically, Ghostbusters. I like how this sticks with the whole funny side of it, like the whole power of being compelled, like that whole last scene that we just saw.
It still has the humor. It's still a comedy.
It's hilarious.
Movie. It's a comedy about a ghost. It's hilarious.
It does seem to be taking itself a little bit more seriously than the Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
but then again, some people like that style nowadays.
I actually do. I like how the Star Wars movies are taking themselves more seriously.
Yes.
This directed by Paul Feig.
He's a fan of the show.
He's a fan
of the show.
Alright, so now we're going to
the show. He's a
Dr.
I
Bickman.
was going to show that in another one just in case people don't watch it this far.
Well,
so watch our next one.
Okay, so we're not showing this?
Not right now, no.
So what are we showing? Anything?
We're just...
You know what? We have time to... Okay, Dr.
Alright, then I guess...
Dr. Bickman.
No, I'm showing it in another one just in case people don't watch this far. Hopefully they will, but...
Alright,
we can make the fun picture.
It's been 2 minutes already, so thank you for liking,
commenting,
subscribing,
sharing, on all social media accounts.
Links in the description below.
Yeah. Hashtag Deb did it first. Hashtag Ghostbusters.
Hashtag who you gonna call.
Yeah.
Hashtag who you gonna call.
Oh, follow Paul Feig and follow Ghostbusters on Twitter too.
Follow Tom Gebhardt.
Yes,
he's a Ghostbuster.
Well, it's actually Foxtrot something.
Well, yeah.
Alright, so live on, prosper. May the force be with you. Who you gonna call?
And have a really, really random day. I actually think it should be like, who you gonna call? For our symbol, for like, who you gonna call? Who you gonna call?
Day.